Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Melanie Dean. I'm a psychologist, a scientist, and a Hay House author of the book, The Hidden Power of Emotions. And you're listening to the Wavemaker podcast, where we explore how your emotions are real energy waves that are more powerful than you think. And so are you. When you learn how to tap the power of your emotions, you can attract everything in life that you want. It's not just positive thinking, it's science, and I will show you how. Hello, friends. I imagine that most of you are familiar with the law of attraction, where you get what it is that you are thinking about and what you're focused on, or the power of positive thinking. Same concept, you get what you're thinking about and your thoughts are very powerful. The concept that you get what you focus upon. So these are all new thought, powerful concepts about that we get what we focus upon. And I teach that we get what we focus upon. I teach about it in the power of our emotions, which are real energy waves. So thoughts and emotions very intertwined, but it's the emotions that are real energy waves and that you can shift and manage to create the life that you desire. So all of this might lead you to wonder that when bad things happen, when difficulties and challenges come into your life, you might say, well, was I focused on that in a way that I wasn't aware of and I caused it? Did I somehow attract this to me, and am I wanting this in my life in a way I wasn't aware of? So did I cause these bad things to happen to me? Now that's a valid question, and oftentimes when people are immersed in really working their power, they are not familiar perhaps with the limits of their power, and they might think that they caused these bad things to happen to them. Well, I want to say that the answer to that is what you already know. So the question is, did you cause these bad things to happen to you? You already know the answer to this, and the answer is no. And it's no because you do not control the actions of others. So what others say and do, you do not control. You do not control events that happen to you, natural disasters that might happen in the environment. You do not control big decisions that get made at your work. You do not control big decisions that might affect your life that are government decisions. So did you have bad things that come into your life that are a result of things you cannot control? So that means you did not cause it. The next question is, could you influence the outcome and the unfolding of things that happen in your life? And sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So let's just take a look at some examples and let's put some clarity to how your energy in the field works and how it doesn't work. So you know, if you've listened to some of my previous podcasts, that the emotions that you have are made out of real energy matter. And those emotions, they are communicating both inside your body and outside your body with energy waves that are seeking a connection with similar other energy waves. They are communicating under the rules of quantum physics. Some physicists say that your emotional energy waves made out of real energy matter are actually sniffing. They're scanning and they're seeking for other similar energy. So you have influence in how things unfold, which relates to people that you come in contact with and opportunities that you come in contact with. Did you cause negative events? Meaning, did you control what the outcome of what other people did? No. So let's look at a few examples and see where you might have had influence, where you might not have, what you could control and what you couldn't. So let's say that you got fired from your job. Now, let's just go through some examples that you didn't have any control over. You did not cause. So you got fired from your job. Perhaps your boss's boss said, look, you have to eliminate a whole department of people. We are closing that department. You're in that department. You get fired. So let's say also another example, things out of your control, you did not cause. Your home is damaged. It gets damaged from being in a tornado area and a microburst of a tornado and trees fall on your property. Or you're in a flood area and your home gets flooded. Or you're in a fire area. Or other reasons that your home is damaged that you did not ask for, you were not seeking, you did not put your attention and focus upon to have happen to you, you could not control. You did not cause. So let's say, for example, that you have another example. Your sister-in-law is at your house with other family members and creates a very large, upsetting fight and event at your house. So you did not control your sister-in-law's actions, and that was not in your control. Perhaps you are driving and a young driver, new driver, just barely got that, person barely got their license, crashes into your car. You did not control the actions of that driver crashing into your car. You weren't out there driving saying, I think I want a car crash in my life. So you did not cause this event. Perhaps you get cancer. Maybe you live in a polluted area that contributed to cancer. Maybe the cancer is an unfolding of some genetics. Maybe there's other reasons. Were you out there seeking and saying, I want cancer? No. Did you cause the cancer that comes into your life? No. Perhaps you get into an argument with a friend and that friend just cuts you off and all of a sudden your friendship is over. Did you cause the actions of your friend? Did you control your friend's choices in responding that way? No. So, are you causing bad things that happen in your life? You already know the answer is you cannot control other people. You cannot control large environmental events. You cannot control decisions and actions that groups of people make. And so, you did not cause that. Can you influence the outcome of how things unfold? Yes. So you have influence. Your influence is actually far more powerful than you may give yourself credit for. So let's just look at some ways that you might be able to influence the unfolding of how things look for you in the future. So let's go back to each of these examples and look at that. Let's say that the example where you got fired from your job. Now, it is probably true that you could do nothing about the fact that your boss's boss said, clear out this department of people. Now, could you influence the outcome of that? Could you be a kind of worker that is somebody that gives it their all, that has a lot of focus at work, a lot of concentration, gets the work done, and is somebody that your boss might say, let me see if I can find another place for this person. So, did you cause getting fired? No. Could you influence perhaps having some other opportunities and different opportunities as a result? Yes. Maybe also getting fired is an answer to your own wishes. Maybe you've been wanting some change in your life, and getting fired is an opportunity for you to shift into doing something new and different that you've been wanting to do anyway. So you can influence the outcome and how you move forward with what happens in your life. So though you didn't cause it, you have the power to influence how things unfold for you in a good way from these events that are difficult, challenging, or you might call bad events in your life. So if, for example, your home is damaged, let's go back to that example, and your home has been damaged for reasons out of your control, you did not cause, your home is damaged, you can influence how that unfolds. If you go forward in a way where your energy is angry, resentful, chaotic, stressed to the point where you cannot get in touch with how to access resources for help. You can't think calmly enough for knowing what's the best thing to do. You are going to be perpetuating more difficult situations for yourself. Whereas if you say, okay, I am going to figure out a way to calm my mind and calm my body so that I can think more clearly, I can put forth some energy waves for what I want in my future, and therefore I can connect to that inner wise self, which really you can only connect to when your energy waves are calm enough and smooth enough that you can be in touch and in sync with that inner wisdom, which is going to help you know which resources to take advantage of, who to contact, how to go about getting the result that you want as you know that you're having to deal with in this situation with your damaged home that you did not cause, but it is now yours to deal with. So let's go to the example of your sister-in-law. So your sister-in-law comes over and creates a big mess of a fight in your family at your home. And it really feels like a pretty challenging, bad, negative event that feels pretty lousy. If you allow a pattern of anger and frustration and resentment to put forth those energy waves with your sister-in-law for what she did, or you have had times in the past where you commiserate in that way with this anger, frustration, then you would be influencing more of that in the future. You would be opening the opportunities for more angry, volatile situations to happen in your house. You did not control your sister. You did not choose your sister-in-law's actions, but you would be opening the door and creating more opportunities for those similar kinds of events in the future. On the other hand, if you choose, you could say, okay, I'm going to try to break this pattern in my family and try to have it be a pattern that I like better for my own future. So maybe you will find your way to calm yourself and figure out how can you perhaps understand and listen better and create some more understanding in the family. Now that is going to create a better outcome for you in the future when you have some relationships in the family in which you are seeking understanding with each other. Your sister-in-law in the future, if you do it that way, is likely going to think twice about whether doing a blow-up in your house is going to really get the result that she wants. It's not going to be very accepted. So as you shift and you are making it clear that in my home, I am going to be seeking understanding, and conversations that get volatile and blaming and accusatory are not the kinds of relations I want in my home, that's going to lessen. It's going to lessen the chances that that will happen again in the future. So you do have influence over how things unfold. Now let's look at the case of the young driver. So there's a young driver, maybe distracted, maybe afraid because the young driver is new, maybe not paying attention to everything and crashes into you. Did you cause that crash? Did you attract it with your thoughts? No. If you respond in anger and frustration and then also a welling of fear for future driving, you will be setting up your opportunities for more crashes in the future because you will be distracted, you'll be fearful, you'll be tense, and you won't be calmly paying attention to your environment, being calmly putting forth your own energy waves with a vision for your safety, calm, clear, purposeful intention for your safety when you drive in the future, and for the safety of all the drivers that are around you. So when you see somebody driving that might be distracted, and you're going to wish them well, you're going to send some energy to them, which they can feel. They may not be aware of it, but they can feel it. You're going to send some energy to them that they are safe and they somehow drive more safely. You are going to probably back off a little bit because you will be mindful, paying attention, and you will then be creating an area of safety around you. So your chances of having more crashes in the future lessen because you're being more mindful and you're putting forth energy that is going to be syncing up and felt by others and creating those opportunities in the future for safety. So let's look at cancer. Did you cause yourself to get cancer? No. Did you ask for the cancer? The answer is likely no. But it is true that stress makes all illnesses worse. So whatever caused the cancer, whether that was pollution or other factors or heredity factors or whatever factors are at play in your body that caused it, stress makes all illnesses worse. And so anxiety and fear and worry, it not only makes the disease worse, but it keeps you from really being in touch with your calm, clear thinking and your calm, wise, intuitive guidance. So if you have cancer, you can influence how this unfolds for yourself by de-stressing, so calming your mind and calming your body, setting forth purposeful vision for your healing, and that sets forth a calmness which puts forward the calm, even, smooth waves of emotion that are communicating in your body and outside of your body. And then you are more able to think clearly, and you are better able to be in touch with your intuitive, wise guidance about what steps are best to take for your own health and healing. So the last example reminds me of an experience that I had recently. The example was that you have a friend, you got in an argument with a friend, and that friend cut you off. Well, I experienced that long ago in my past where I had a disagreement with my friend and she just cut me off. Now, in my getting to know myself and work my power more fully, and I'm more aware of myself over time, I have become aware of and taken time now to shift and change this pattern that I have where I'm very sensitive to blame. And so when somebody doesn't like something that I've done, I feel like I've been blamed. And my first reaction, which was a well-oiled reaction from my growing up, when I was a child, was to be defensive. And so I didn't listen very well. I got defensive, I defended myself, I interjected with why that wasn't true. And in the past, I had this pattern where I put that forth first and I didn't listen well. And so then the person who was upset with me for whatever reason, didn't feel heard, didn't feel understood, and felt like this is hopeless, forget it, I'm done with you. So I had that experience years and years ago, and I became aware of my own way of going that would contribute to that outcome. Did I control my friend cutting me off? Did I cause her to do that? No. Did I contribute to it? I had my ways of contributing to it, and I didn't want to continue with that. Well, that's been a slow change. So our ability to shift and change and create that which we want in our future to influence how things unfold differently in the future, I have continued to do that. So I have gotten much, much better, but I'm not completely done with this defensive reaction. It's so old and it's well ingrained, I have to catch myself at it. Well, in my new way of going, I've attracted people in my life that listen to me and are caring of me. I listen to them. I'm caring of them. So when recently a disagreement came up with a friend of mine, and we were talking, and she's like, "Melanie, you're not hearing me. Melanie, you're kind of turning this around and making me to blame when I'm trying to share with you my feelings about what happened." Well, I feel thankful because we had a close enough relationship, and I have attracted people in my life that are willing to hang in there with me a little bit rather than just cut me off. And I realized she's right. And so in that moment, which now, instead of me feeling defensive and doing my defensive not listening thing for a pretty long stretch of time as I did in the past, now that is a much shorter bit of time, and I'm doing it with friends that I have a good relationship with, and they feel safe enough to say, "This isn't going well, Mel," and I can then shift. And in this case with my friend recently, I shifted. I'm like, oh boy, there's that old reaction again. There's that old defensive reaction again. And I just shifted and I asked myself to really listen what she was saying and try to understand what she was saying. And I did. I got an understanding of what she was saying and I conveyed that to her. And we then were able to have some time where I could share what my feelings and thoughts were, and we concluded with a good, wonderful friendship still intact. So, can we influence how things unfold for us? Yes. So I conclude this time together to reinforce the notion that when bad things, difficult things, challenging things happen in your life, did you focus on them and say, yeah, bring that on? No. Did you cause somebody else's behavior? Could you control their behavior and their choices? No. Could you control environmental events? No. Could you control large systems of people or work or corporate systems or government systems and the decisions that impact you? No. Do you have an ability to influence the outcome of how things unfold? Yes. So please use your opportunity to have things unfold in a way that brings you what you want in your life. Greater connection with people, greater resources to tap into, the help that you may need, the guidance and the wisdom that you may need, the happiness in your life with harmony in the relationships. Those are all within your area of influence for how things unfold. So here is to shifting your emotions and living a very happy, powerful life. That's all for today's Wavemaker podcast. Thank you for listening. I have so much more to share with you, so be sure to tune in next month. And remember, go to my website, www.melaniedean.com, and join our free Wavemaker community, where you will receive even more science-backed advice for unlocking your emotional power.